What up, what up? It's your boy Paul P. I serve God. I'm not God. This is just my opinion. And welcome to another episode of the Nothing to Something podcast. Man, today we got a big one here. We got a good one for you guys today. I'm actually really excited, man. I got a special guest with me. A special guest all the way from Kansas City. Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
The one and only, man, my nephew. Wes, what up, nephew?
Hey, what's going on, Uncle Paul? You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to be on here, man. I'm excited to get my input on what I think about all this. So we about to.
Oh, what? What are you talking about? You say you don't even.
Hey,
oh, what?
hey, you know we talking about Travis Hunter. You know my favorite football player right here. You know what I'm saying? And so hey, we about to get into it though.
How you know that we talking about Travis Hunter? I didn't say we was talking about Travis Hunter.
Hey, you know we have conversations. You know, so we know what's going on. So yeah. Hey, and I watched your videos in the past, so I know what's kind of going on.
Well, you know, we gonna get into that, nephew. We gonna go there, and I want to go there with someone in your age group because we hear a lot of. I'm gonna just be real, old has been men who is not in his age group talking a lot of stuff and everything like that. And I think it's important to see, hey. Yes, we are OGs and we do like to give game and give game to the youth, right? But let's also hear what these young boys who are out here in that age group who look up to people like Travis Hunter because of what he's doing. Let's see what they think about it. You know, so but before we get into that, I want to, this is the first time you've been on a podcast. Well, you've been on here before, right, nephew? A while ago, right?
Yeah, it was a minute ago. It was all three of us. It was me, Jordan, and Xavier. So you had all three of us on here.
Okay, yeah. So you did the podcast, but people probably, if they've seen you before, they probably also seen you on some of like the shorts because we was also doing like a lot of like skits and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been on here before, but this is different because this is just you this time. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you getting a little older, nephew. You know, you're not a junior high kid anymore. I believe you was probably in junior high last time you was on here or something like that. You know, you a year and a half away from graduating. You know, you got the rest of this year and next year, and you going to college. So this is a little bit different. I think you're at the place where you can have a little bit of a different type of conversation than what we had with you here last time. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting older, you becoming a young man, and I think that it's important to talk to the young men and see where y'all heads is at. And also, if you got to give a little bit of game, give a little bit of game too. That's what people like me, that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. But it's good to listen to y'all too and see what y'all thoughts is. But so before we get into all of that, I want you to let the people know a little bit about yourself. You know, of course, I put on the thumbnail, you a football prospect and everything like that. You also play baseball and everything. So get into just yourself a little bit. Let the people know a little bit more about you, nephew.
So I'm a junior in high school. So I played three sports, or I used to play three sports. This year for my junior year, I cut it down to two sports, baseball and football. I used to play basketball last year, but I wanted to focus on the sports that I think I have a chance to play in college. So I focus more on like baseball and football, but mainly football because I feel like I have a better chance of being successful in football. Like, I mean, it brings joy to me every time I play football. Like baseball, it can be a little frustrating sometimes, but football, it's always there with the joy I have for it. I think it's mainly like the feeling I get before the game, like the butterflies with the band playing and the crowd cheering. Baseball is not like that, but I still love baseball. I grew up playing it every day.
Yeah.
Besides sports, man, I maintain a 4.0 and above GPA in school. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? So we good in the classroom, not just on the field. And and my Uncle Paul said I'm getting older. Yeah, last time I was on here, I was younger, and I'm afraid to say time don't stop for nobody. So I mean, I'm excited to see what the future holds for me. But yeah, you take advantage of every day you have.
Man, hey, I want to go back to one thing. You know, we know the sport in our community. We have a lot of great athletes, you know. So we know when it come down to sports and music, that's what we do. Let's be real. When it come down to us, sports and music, come on, man. That's what we do. But you said something that I want the people to hear again. All right? What did you say your GPA was again?
4.0.
4 point what?
4.0 and above.
And not just that. This ain't 4.0. This ain't a 4.0 student who's taking regular classes and everything like that. What type of classes do you take, nephew?
I take college level AP classes.
Come on. Doing it. Hey, proud uncle. You know what I'm saying? You doing your thing, you know? So I think it was important to point that out because, of course, we have a lot of athletes who we see that take it to the next level. A lot of musicians as well. But we don't never really celebrate the individuals who come from our community that are 4.0 students, that are academically talented as well. We don't celebrate that. And I think it's important to celebrate that too, you know, and everything. So, you know, hey, again, you know, nephew, give you a round of applause because it took hard work to do that. Because I'll be honest when it come down to that. When I was in high school, I was far from a dummy. You know, every test, I got no lesson to be on the test. But I'm going to be real, man. The girls was doing my homework. I wasn't doing my own homework. I was an athlete that, hey, homework, it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
Game is game.
So, I can't even tell you in the last year I did my own homework. I didn't do it when I was in college for a little bit. I didn't do it. I know my senior year I didn't do it. 11th grade, maybe when I was in 9th, maybe 10th, I did my own homework. But after that, I was looking for the smart girls. Hey, you know, I got a game tonight. You know what I'm saying? You got me. Oh, okay. Appreciate it. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm keeping it real. So when I see someone like, you know, like you, nephew, who is, you know, doing your thing academically at a high level, you know, hey, I think that we should celebrate that a lot more. Talk about your journey a little bit with football, because you actually are now getting to the place to where you will be going to do visits. So you're going to be looking at potential scholarships. You know, people may not know you really do this with the sports too. You getting good grades, but you do it with the sports too. So talk about that a little bit.
So my freshman year of high school, it was, I wasn't that good at football, and I realized that I didn't just like quit. Like a lot of people quit when they realize they don't have a future in something. But I mean, I felt like there was something there with me, and I felt like I can be that guy on the field. And I just started working in the summer. In the summer, I had off of school. I really put in a lot of dedication to it, and eventually, the coaches started realizing that I was getting better, and they started talking to me about playing varsity. My sophomore year. Unfortunately, I didn't get too much varsity time my sophomore year, but I just knew I just needed to put more work in. I mean, because I need to get there if I want to play varsity, especially in college. If I want to play in college, I gotta put in the work for that. So my junior year, our season ended in the second round of playoffs, so we didn't have a very long season. But I played a significant amount of varsity snaps this year, and I feel like I did pretty good. I did good enough for colleges to start to text me and email me after the games and stuff. And coming up in the summer, I have a visit with University of St. Thomas, D1, low D1 private school. So I'm excited to go there for the visit, and hopefully I get that offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, nephew. Definitely, man. So you got these visits coming up. But you also got a wish list. A list of schools that you like, man, if I could get into these schools, which, and I mentioned this to you before, some of these schools you may be able to still get in and get a scholarship academically and then go walk on because you got skills and you got talent. But because you so really gifted and into the sports, you like, I want a football scholarship. So that's your number one thing. But so I want to ask you, what if you first talk about your wish list? What are some of the schools you want to go to?
All right, I got 3 schools that if I just can get into them, like it would be a dream for me. Like So if I'm staying like in the hometown area, I would love to go to Mizzou. Mizzou has a very good football team, good academics and everything. So it's like everything I'm looking for. If I'm going more towards the west, I would love to go to USC. USC for their football, and they have a good academic program over there too. And then last Texas University, that's probably the top right there. If I can get into there, so yeah.
Okay. All good schools, academic and sports, all D1s, and everything like that. So what I want to ask you, and I think this is a very important question, something that everyone who is around athletes, related to athletes, or your children are athletes, once they get into that high school level, that sophomore, junior, senior, years of school, you should ask them, what if academically you get into USC or Mizzou, but you don't get a sports scholarship, but you get a sports scholarship at let's say a D2, and everything like that. Let's say like a UC Santa Barbara, or something like that. That I believe sports wise is a D2. Let's say you get into a school like that, or Loyola Marymount. You get a scholarship to play sports there, but you don't get a scholarship to like the USCs or the Mizzous. Would you take the sports scholarship at the D2, or would you go on and take a chance with going to the D1 and walking on as an athlete?
Like for me, I'm taking that sports scholarship because at the end of the day, those coaches believe in me to do something at the next level. Like they believe in me to perform on their team. I'm gonna do my thing in the classroom regardless. Like I'm not worried about the academics. I'm gonna do my thing in the classroom. But I'm into the stories about like Tyreek Hill, Aaron Rodgers, Chad Ochocinco. They went to all JUCOs. They end up being some of the best players in the NFL ever. So I believe in that.
Yeah. And I don't think most people may have an issue with that. Like, why you gonna pass up USC if you got a scholarship to go there academically? You could walk on. But the reason why I support that, as your uncle and everything like that, or with anyone who took that direction, is because you could get education in anywhere. Whether that's a D1, a D2, a JC that you could transfer from later. You could get your academics in anywhere. You could get an education and get a degree anywhere for whatever it is you're trying to do, right? But that opportunity to make it into sports is very, very slim. Right after high school, you got a good 4 years to set it off where people are still paying attention to you, right? If you don't do nothing, in fact, I'm going to say you got about 2 to 3 years. After that, eyes are leaving you. So if you ain't doing nothing to set it off, in that 2 years, that's usually you could go to a JUCO for 2 years. If you're not doing nothing to set it off in those first 2 years, then you're gonna start seeing the eyes that are on you start to dwindle away. So I don't see any problem with that. What you're doing is following your dreams and saying, look, I'm gonna be smart regardless. I'm gonna get a degree no matter where I go. I ain't tripping off of that. But my sports, opportunity, that window start to close once I get out of high school. It started to get slimmer and slimmer. So if I got a coach that believe in me, I better take that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So is that kind of like what you was thinking about when it came down to that, nephew?
That's exactly what I was saying. Like, I mean, why pass up on a coach that believes in you and try to walk on at a D1 school in the sports and they don't even know who you are in the first place? I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, unless you just top of the top prospects. But if you was top of the top prospects before, then you already had that offer. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's what's up. One thing that I always say, nephew, you got a good head on your shoulders. That's why you here right now. I'm like, you know what? I got my nephew. He is getting into that place to where he's going to be going to college soon. When it come down to this podcast, I built it for young men. To talk to young men, to put certain messages out there to young men and everything like that. So where you at right now in your life? This podcast for me is about, young boys to men your age from that 16 to about 25 your bracket. So I think it's important to hear your thoughts as a high school kid that's about to go to college soon, just to hear your thoughts. So other kids that are in high school that are listening, they could take some tips from what you're saying because you have something important and good to say. And like I said, that's why you here, and everything like that, So outside of those couple of things, when it come down to it, we didn't get into your baseball side a little bit. Now, I know you're more into the football, right? But when it come down to baseball, let's say you get a scholarship to USC for baseball, but you get a scholarship for to a D2 for college. Are you going to take that USC scholarship for baseball, or are you going to take that D2 scholarship to UC Santa Barbara to play football at that school? What you prefer out of those two sports?
Yeah, I'm never gonna change my opinion. Like, I mean, if I say that my dream is to play football, I'm gonna go take the football, and I can still even play baseball at that school. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like I feel like my dream is in football and baseball. Don't get me wrong, I still love baseball. I'm good at baseball. Like I can get offers from baseball too, but I mean, I really feel like I have something in football, and yeah, I'm still gonna play baseball in college regardless, unless I'm on a certain scholarship that says I can't. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm still go D2 on that.
Hey, okay. That's what I'm talking about. All right, nephew. I could tell you thought this through. I know, I've already knew kind of like where your head is at. We had certain conversations and everything, and I'm sure your mom know where your head is at with these things. But it's like I said, it's good to talk about it because you never know where a lot of kids your age head is at right now because they trying to figure it out. Where should I go to play sports? I could get into here academically, but they not gonna give me a scholarship for sports. What should I do? There are a lot of kids in that position, so it's good to speak on it. So talking about football, nephew, it's another important topic that have to do with football that I want to speak on. And this is the topic that a lot of athletes in your age group are talking about because y'all looked up to this guy because he is a superstar athlete. I'm not even just gonna say football player. Did people see this dude, dunking, at a slam dunk contest, you know what I'm saying, at his school and everything like that at Colorado. So I mean, this dude is a pure athlete, right? But before we get into Travis Hunter, because a lot of us, including myself, I'm gonna be real, are just now really getting to know who Travis Hunter is because he's we know he played for Deion, but we're getting to know who he is personally after he won a Heisman and then all of his stuff about him and his girlfriend. But before, you knew who he was before all of this. So just talk about what type of athlete you looked at Travis Hunter as and just talk about what you knew of him before he got to the place to where everybody know, and everything like that.
I started watching Travis Hunter when he was in like his junior year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's this dude on YouTube. His YouTube channel is called Destroying, and he goes to like high school games and he records them. And I remember I came across a video of Travis Hunter, and I didn't know who he was at first, but I seen the game that he had, and he was unbelievable, doing crazy stuff. I'm like, who is this dude? And I was like, oh, that's the same dude on defense and offense. He playing both sides, doing the same. I'm like, who is that? So I started looking into him, and I started watching him all through his high school. And actually, he came out to Kansas City to the Hy-Vee Arena, and I got to go and see him. I didn't get to meet him, but I got to see him up close. He ain't no small. He looks small, but he got a good size on him. He's kind of like skinny. I mean, he's kind of like not built, but he's definitely not small like compared to what y'all see on TV. And he has a good mindset on his shoulder. Like he believes he can be the best in the NFL, and I believe it too. He's pretty good. And then throughout college, I watched him at Jackson State. I mean, at first I was like, why did he go to Jackson State? He's the best prospect in the nation. But then
shout out to Deion.
Yeah, but I was like, Deion Sanders, man. And then he ended up taking them places at Colorado and almost made it to the college football playoffs this year. So he had a pretty good season. And Heisman, you know what I mean? So that's a hard thing to get. It's not no easy task to get.
Very hard, man. So I wanted you to give a little background because I didn't want people to think that, hey, we bringing up Travis Hunter and everything like that because he's the hot topic and everything right now. No, I want people to know that a lot of these young kids in high school, they all been watching this dude for a long time. So they hear the noise now that's going on. This is someone that they all know. A lot of us older cats, we just now finding out about this dude because of what's being talked about right now. And yeah, the Heisman Trophy, but he's became a hot topic in the main conversation topic because of what's going on between him and his girlfriend and everything like that. Because a lot of people didn't know who this dude was before that and everything. Before we get into that right there though too, talk a little bit about Travis Hunter, Deion, Shador, like the whole squad. Like, are you motivated by watching what Deion has done with those players there as a young high school football player? Do it motivate you? And what is it about what they're doing there that kind of puts you in a place where you like, man, I wanna do some of these things that they're doing as young black men that are great athletes, and they're doing something that I want to do for the rest of my life. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like watching Shador and Travis Hunter and Shiloh and all them, like they have a relationship that you can't break. Like, I mean, when I watch the games, I can't remember what YouTube channel it is, but it gives like the on-field view. You can hear their conversations when they're talking, and they have a good relationship. Like, you think what you see on TV is all you see. I mean, but when you look at those videos on YouTube of the conversations they have and the bond that they have, and that's why they play so good on the field. And I feel like that I need to build a strong relationship with my teammates because of that. Like, because I mean, you want to win games, you want to win state championships, but then you don't have a team that you can bond with and be family with, and you're just a bunch of athletes out there. That's why I like teams with a bunch of 5 stars on it and all that. Don't get me wrong, they're gonna be good, but I mean, they don't really have relationships with each other. They random dudes that coach picked up off the top 100 list. I mean, they don't even know each other for real. So I feel like it's a good thing to be bonded with your teammates because that's going to take you further than anything.
Definitely. Nephew, I told you a long time ago when you was really getting into football and everything, I said, hey, make a connection and get closer to the quarterback because you're a receiver. So, in the off season when everybody is at home chilling and doing what they doing, if I were you, I'd be connecting with that quarterback. Whoever's going to be that starting varsity quarterback, go connect with him because he's going to be how you eat. You want to build those relationships. I always say relationships are worth more than money every day. Money come and go. Relationships, they stick and it help you build. If you got the right relationships, you making the right connections and you building a team, a unit around you to be great and do what you're trying to do in life, and you got a strong head on your shoulders, you got God by your side. If you got those tools, money mean nothing because then money will start following you. So those relationships are very important, and everything like that. What I want to ask you is like, from watching that and then the conversations we had with like trying to build with the quarterback at your school and everything like that, did that make you start to reach out more and try to get those reps in with the QB and try to do more team assignments to bring y'all together?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this past summer that just passed, me and my quarterback was at the field 90% of the time during the summer. Like
nice.
we didn't really miss anything, and it showed in the games. Like he wasn't afraid to throw me the ball if it was 2 dudes on me, and like I'm gonna catch it. That's my job to catch it. I told him don't be scared, and he was like, "Oh, you better catch this." Then if I throw it up to you, I'm like, "Oh, I got you." You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we had that relationship where he trusted me to catch the ball. So
nice.
I mean, yeah.
That's dope. That's what's up, nephew. That's what's up. That's what I like to hear. So all of you out there know the way that you build and grow, because people are so focused on money. And I'm a witness. I'll tell y'all straight up, money mean nothing. I didn't mentally, I felt the same. Whether I had 1,000 in my account or 500K. I had both. You know what I'm saying at times. And mentally, I felt no different. In fact, I felt it's a little bit more pressure. So you want to make, when you have more money in your account, people think that, oh, life just gets easier. I feel like I'm just chilling on rainbows and I'm in a fairy tale and I'm paid. It's not that simple. You start to become, if you don't got God in your life, you start to become more paranoid, more anxious. You start to be watching your back a little bit harder, like somebody trying to get me. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, when you got money like that, everything changes up here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you this, because a lot of people say, oh, you changed, you got money. No. the people around you change because you actually become a little bit more, paranoid, anxious, and you hope that people didn't change around you. So most of the time it's the people around you because they know what you got going on and everything. So you want to make sure that when you are in those places and you got money like that, you are able to reach out to, you got teams, you got a team around you, you got relationships, you got a strong unit around you. That's why they always say, make sure that you got a tight knit circle when you out there doing great things. It's because, when it comes to like dealing with more important things in life and now you making that money and everything like that, you want to make sure you got a great team around you so you could continue to grow. Because if you don't and you just got the money, that money gonna go away and you're gonna be paranoid and it just doesn't last. But relationships and the team do, So you're going in the right direction with that, nephew. And I like that you are, so far you haven't said anything that have to do with, I'm doing this because I want to get paid and I want to be, one of the richest people in the world, because a lot of people your age, they thinking that way. You talking about team unity, you talking about relationships, you talking about, working hard with your quarterback and growing and building and everything like that. So far, you definitely on the right path, so now let's get into this Travis Hunter situation because to be honest, I want to see what a lot of people in your age group who know this guy more than we do think. And also too, even though us as older individuals, we've been through a lot of the stuff that Travis Hunter has been through. Individuals your age, young men and stuff like that, a lot of y'all have not been through that, right? But I think it's still important to hear what y'all got to say because I say this all the time. When I was your age, nephew, nobody could tell me nothing. Now, I'm not saying that that's how you are. I'm just saying when you are a young teenager that's going to be a young adult soon, you feel nothing can stop you. You feel like you Superman. You know what I'm saying? You have this ego complex and everything like that, and it's hard for the OGs to get across to you. So I'm looking at what they saying to Travis Hunter, because to kind of like backstory and everything like that, Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner, is in a situation where everybody out there is telling him that your girlfriend, she's a 304. She's not the one. You know what I'm saying? They have a video that came out with her basically telling the world, he's not my type. They have videos coming out to where they're showing her in the past couple of years with another dude in another relationship, while Travis Hunter said that he was supposed to be with her at that time. They got her a dollar sign on a ring finger that they're saying represent this other dude that she was with before him or with during the relationship with him. And then we all saw the video to where Travis Hunter was getting this Heisman Trophy and she was sitting down and Deion had to pat her on the back to get up and clap. So people are seeing a lot of things that don't look right in regards to this girl that he is with, and everybody is coming out and have something to say. Now, are some people getting up and saying something because they care about the dude? Most likely no. Most people are just saying stuff because this is the hot topic and people want to go viral, right? But, and I talked about this situation too, but I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit, nephew, because you are actually in that age bracket, and let's be real, you're in that place to where you are and will be in those same environments and places as Travis Hunter. Now, when it comes down to the greatness of who you are, that varies. I'm just talking about you are a young athlete that will be in college, that may date here and there, that may hear noise and everything like that. And I just want to know, when you see what Travis Hunter is going through, as a young athlete, what are some of the thoughts that go through your head? Now, do you still look at this and say, I still respect Travis Hunter for who he is and what he's doing? Do you say Travis Hunter is looking kind of weak, that he's going through what he's going through and he's not letting this girl go? What do you see when you hear of this situation, of this athlete that you have looked up to for a long time as a young athlete yourself, what are some of the things that you think about and goes through your mind when you see what Travis Hunter is going through right now?
For me, like I always looked at Travis Hunter as an athlete. I never to that relationship. I never really went to that side of Travis Hunter, but I feel um like people only see what's on camera. They don't see what's going on at his house, or they don't know how he's addressing it to her. They just think that he's not saying anything to her at all. And I feel like people just base their opinions off what they see in a 2-second video, 3-second video, and they try to start making assumptions about Travis Hunter and what he has going on at his house. And I feel like the people that's making videos about him is just jealous. I mean, they jealous that they don't have somebody that loved them for real, or they don't really have somebody that take care of them, and they don't know what it feel like. So of course they gonna be on somebody else's page, tweeting or commenting, or like when I get on TikTok or when I get on YouTube and a video about Travis Hunter, all I see in the comment section is about his girlfriend and his fiance break up with her. She's a cheater. And most of the time, them guys have girls that's cheating on them already, or I mean, like just girls that can't be with them for more than 2 weeks. I mean, that's why it just confuses me. So, but yeah, I don't really know about this situation. I don't really go into it. I like Travis Hunter as an athlete, and whatever he has at his house, I mean, that's at his house. I mean, what can I do about that? But yeah, I still have a high respect for Travis Hunter and what he does.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, nephew. When it come down to like, cause you around nothing but athletes, you know, and you know whether that's high school, college, you just around that group of athletes, you know. So you hear the chatter, you hear the talk, and everything like that. When it come down, that's your perspective. But when it come down to it, what is the majority of athletes in your age group and a little older that's in college? What are they saying right now about Travis Hunter?
They saying he's stupid. I mean, that's what everybody. They saying he's stupid for even being with her. Like, I mean, they saying he's not gonna sign. He's not gonna do the prenup for when they get married. Or I don't really know too much about the situation. What happened with that? But that's what people saying, that he's not gonna do that, and they saying he's done for that because she's gonna take everything from him. And I'm like, man, yeah, that's y'all opinion. I'm gonna stay on the athlete side of Travis Hunter. I ain't gonna go too much into that, but yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, I think you thinking about it the right way. You know, this is what I say about a situation like this, nephew. When it come down to this Travis Hunter situation, is that the right girl for him? I don't know. In fact, she probably not. I have no idea. I didn't date her. I'm not with her. I don't know. Right? But this is what I'll say this as well. Travis Hunter gonna have to learn on his own. Most people that's saying certain things and putting certain messages out there, especially individuals that are not close to this guy, it's just gonna make him draw closer to her. This is what it's like. We as individuals who done been through this, it's like we already know what's up. You know, the people who are saying stuff, they just people who either they don't know what it is to be with a girl that they really like because they can't get girls. You know what I'm saying? Or are they older cats that's just trying to go viral like the Bow Wows? You know what I'm saying? And people like that, they just trying to go viral. Let me put this little message out. You know, and Bow Wow over here putting a message out and like, dude, you done been through so much stupid stuff with girls. How can you tell this guy anything? You still going through situations with girls that show you haven't learned yet. You know, I mean, Stu talk to Erica Mena, like out of all people, and couldn't even let this girl go after going through getting locked up and all kind of stuff. So it's like, come on, who about to listen to you? So when it comes down to situations like this, the one thing that I always say, and this is what I even always told you, nephew, the best way to give advice is after going through an experience of the situation. When I was young, nobody could tell me nothing. It's okay for me to say, hey, you know what, nephew? I know you're in a relationship, but be patient, take your time, and watch everything that's going on around you. You don't got to move fast. It's okay to date, but take your time before you go into that place of now getting engaged and getting married and things like that. I'm not saying break up with the girl, but be patient. You know, you have a long life ahead of you. You know, you still gotta, get your career going, build your foundation, and make sure that you could be in a place to where now you know how to be a husband and a father. So it's not even just about her. It's about making sure that as a man, you are ready to be a leader and you have everything laid out to take care of your family. So I'm not just looking at the girl situation. I'm not going to tell a young man what to do when it comes down to who he's with. I'm going to just tell him, hey, take your time. There's no reason to rush. You know? When it comes down to it, I want to ask you this, nephew, because you've dated a couple of times. I'm talking about you've been in a relationship a couple of times, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, for like one of them was like a year and a half. So yeah, it was
Yeah, right. And I've talked to you, a couple of times when it came down to these relationships that you was in. Did I ever tell you to break up with a girl?
No, you never told me to break up with her.
Yeah. I've only had conversations, just kind of like put out certain things that if you can remember that I've said when it came down to the relationships that you were in at that time.
Yeah, you just told me to like focus on doing what I can to make it to the next level. Cause having a girlfriend, it can take up a lot of time. You want to spend time with them and you want to do certain things with them, and then that's taken away from the time you can be grinding to get to where you want to get. So yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So everybody doing these videos and putting them out there, saying, "Oh, Travis, you a dummy," and leave her, she's a whore, and all of these other type of things. I'm like, man, y'all not helping the dude, y'all hurting the dude. Cause you see the dude now deactivated his page. He probably can't focus when it come down to the bowl game he got coming up, cause he's thinking about everything that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Everything. So it's like y'all not helping the dude. So that's why I say, look, the internet is undefeated. I want all the young people out there to know the internet is undefeated. You cannot battle with internet. If people are saying certain things, leave it alone. Let the smoke clear. Where they made this mistake is for one, when the girl tried to put out the video and start to, have an answer for everything that people were saying. No, you should have just left it alone. Same thing for Travis. Stay off. I mean, he's off now, but stay off. Because most of these people that's giving advice don't love you. They don't know you. They don't care about you. They just want a video to go viral where they could get views and get paid from the video. That's it. It had nothing to do with them really caring about Travis Hunter. So when it come down to it, the real OGs around Travis Hunter, the ones that he do listen to, the ones who I'm sure are not putting out videos, I'm sure those are the individuals that has taken him to the side and said, look, man, I'm not going to tell you not to be with that girl. But I will say, take your time. You got a lot coming up. You got a lot ahead of you and everything like that, So, so yeah, that was, I think that everything that you said, nephew, that's why I'm so proud of you, because you showing that you have a good head on your shoulders. And nowadays, I can't sit here and say that all young men are in that place. When you started talking about Travis Hunter, you said, look, I look at him as the athlete. That ain't my business. I think he's a great athlete, But one thing I do want to ask you to get into you a little bit, I want to ask, are you dating right now, nephew?
Hey, no, I'm not dating right now. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing right now. So you heard what I said earlier about the colleges and stuff. I'm really into that. So I'm gonna stay on the college. I'm gonna stay looking into my future, and I'll worry about that later when I feel like I'm ready.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. So when it come down to, your uncle may get into it a little bit. So I just want to ask a couple little questions here and there just to see where you at. When it come down, I mean, you are a athlete and a good athlete. And I mean, when it come down to our genes and everything like that, we ain't bad looking either. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, do girls hit on you, or do you get girls that approach you and that's trying to, go out on dates or do a little something more, or where are you kind of at with that? Like, how do the girls be approaching you?
I'm not even gonna try to sound like cocky or overconfident when I say this, but I can't go I can't go 1 week at school without a new girl trying to talk to me, or like I'm just being so for real. Like it's just like it's just yeah, I can get girls. Like I'm not saying I don't get girls. That's what I'm saying. I don't got no girlfriend. That's not the thing. Like I keep a friend space. Like I have a lot of friends. So I mean I just keep it there.
Okay. But let's say it's a young lady who you've been kind of checking her out for a while. Like, oh, okay, she's really pretty, and you've been noticing her for a minute, and she approaches you. And she's trying to get a little bit closer. How are you gonna handle that situation? Because let's be real, we are human. We're not perfect, and you are a young man or a boy that you're gonna be a young man really soon. You will be 18 in a year and a half. You will be 18 very soon. So how do you handle situations like that when it's a young lady who you really into that approaches you, nephew?
I remember you told me it was a minute ago. You probably don't remember you told me this, but I remember when you told me we was on the phone and you said, "Hey, be real with girls that you have interest with. Like, be real with them." And when I say that, I mean like if she's interested in me and I'm interested in her, I mean I'm gonna tell her like I like you, but I mean I have stuff to focus on that I need to get better at, and I mean like that can take you a long way being real with people because a lot of people are fake out here, and they'll stay in that they'll get into that relationship, and then later on break up with her because now they gotta focus on what they gotta do. But just be real from the get go, be real from the jump. If you already know that it's not gonna work, then just tell her that right there and then, because people have emotions out here. You can't just be breaking people's hearts like in the middle of a relationship just because you didn't want to be real.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at all this wisdom in this young men right here. All this wisdom. Look at you. You know. I mean, Uncle had to, give you some good advice too. You know what I'm saying? So we got, Paul had to break it down to the nephews, make sure they ready out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, hey, what are we playing out here, nephew? What are we playing? What game are we playing this man out here?
We playing chess.
There we go.
Checkers.
Exactly. Chess, not checkers, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And you can never play checkers. Why?
Because that's what kids play.
No. Who are the best checker players in the world?
Girls.
And why are we as men the best chess players? Who's the best piece on the board when it comes to chess?
The king. The king.
All right. So you can't be playing checkers out here. You got to play chess, because we supposed to be leaders. And I love the head that you have on your shoulder, nephew. But this is one thing I want to point out, and why I say this about Travis Hunter in regards to you can't just go telling the dude you can't be with this girl who he been with for 3, 4, 5 years or whatever. That's the wrong advice. And why people on the internet know that's bad advice, but still doing it because of clicks and viral. Because I say all the time, my advice is not viral advice. It's real advice. People ain't going to click on and listen to my entire message because it ain't fun and funny. I'm telling these young men the real. Hey, this is what it is, because I've been through it, and nobody could tell me nothing either. I had to learn later. If someone really broke it down to me right, I would have learned something, and I may have made a different decision. But when people just telling you break up with that person, it doesn't work that way. What I want to ask you, when you was in the relationships you were in before you decided to leave those situations, nephew, were people telling you to break up with her?
Oh no! Nobody ever told me to break up with her. It was really just the mindset that I grew throughout high school. Because I started dating, getting serious with girls like my freshman year of high school, and nobody really has a mentality to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship, their freshman year high school. So I realized I grew, and I realized that that's not what I needed right now was a girlfriend. But like I said, I keep it in the friend space. So.
Yeah. Facts. Now, I want to ask you this though. If someone would have told you, or if people were saying break up with her at that time when you really liked her, y'all was seeing each other every day, holding hands, doing a little kitty, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. If anybody would have said, or if multiple people were saying break up with her right then and there, would you have broke up with her?
No, I don't listen to people that go on. I don't listen to all that people that go around in the school tell people relationship advice, and because I don't even really know him for real, and they trying to say something now, and I'm like, that don't even seem right. But if it's one of my family members that's saying that, and like they really know me, I'm put some thought into it, because like, I mean, they really know me on a personal level, and like, not just in school and seeing what's going on from afar. So
Yeah. And you'll put some thought into it, but that day or that week after building a relationship and having feelings for her, you ain't just gonna just break up with her just because somebody said it, though, right? Even in your family, right then and there, right?
yeah, no, that's not how it go down. You gotta, I mean, you gotta, it's a, how do I say? It's a
Process.
You got a process to it. So it's not just right there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying about the Travis Hunter situation. Like you said, if somebody close to me, because I know they coming from a genuine place, broke it down, then I will listen. I'm not about to break up with her right now and right now, but I'm gonna listen, but this is why, but you said something that I want to point out. You was like, I'm not listening to what these people around me are saying, I'll take advice from my family members or people who love me, but I'm not listening to these people around me. See, it's important for people to hear that, because that's why I point that out with Travis Hunter. He's not leaving a girl. I don't care if y'all find, I'm gonna be real, if y'all find a video with her in bed with another dude having intercourse, he's still not gonna leave her. I'm not saying that he won't eventually leave her, but he's not. The thing about it, when you in that place as a young man, you got ego, you got pride, you want to prove people wrong. So even if he like, look, I'm gonna wait till a year later, then I'll break up with her, he's not finna prove y'all right by breaking up with the girl now. So that's why I say that's bad advice when it comes down to these relationship gurus and these people with these big channels on YouTube out there saying Travis Hunter need to leave her right now. She's not good for him. She's a 3 or 4. That's bad advice. If anything, tell the dude, don't move too fast. Be patient. Take your time. You don't got to get married right now. Because the best way to gain anything in regards to learning something is from experience. He have to go through these steps and this process and experience it himself. But if you giving good advice and telling him to be patient, listen, and pay attention to what's going on around you when she's in your presence, when you're at events, when you're around a lot of successful people, pay attention. He'll have his eyes and his ears open a lot wider, though. You get what I'm saying? So he won't just get caught off guard. So that's why you say, hey, you don't got to leave her, but take your time, be patient. Because he's going to eventually learn and he's going to get experience to be like, okay, now I see what it is. But you got to watch advice you put out there. And I don't believe in these relationship gurus and everything like that. To me, those type of dudes out there is messing up young men's lives, destroying young men's lives. Because they telling young men, go out there and go work out, get buff, and go get 3, 4, 5 girls, and don't never get serious with one girl. Go get all the girls you want, because now you buff, and go get some money too. Go get a job or go do this and become successful. And again, go to the gym and get buff. Like this. That's all these dudes talk about. I'm like, man, you gonna have these dudes at 50 years old, fat with muscles, drinking beers on the couch by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Never getting no girl who's a good woman, that's a good future mother, a good future wife. Missing out on opportunities because they was out there focused on, oh man, I don't want none of these girls. I want to get buff and I'm going to have a whole bunch of women. Come on, man. None of these dudes who putting that message out there got none of that. I'm telling you that right now. They all with one woman. All these gurus, I'm telling all y'all that right now, all right? All these gurus and all these people on the internet telling men what to do, they all with one woman. They're all whipped. All of them are whipped. I'm telling y'all that right now. And the ones who are single that are gurus, they single because they heart is stone. Because when they was younger, girls was cheating on them, treating them like little bums. So that's why they putting out that type of message. But if I'm going to be real, if you was an individual, I'm going to say like myself, I never really had issues with girls. So I don't got like any bad experience I have with a woman is because I made the mistake. And as men, we're leaders. So it's always on us. It's always on us. Even if the girl cheat or do something, it's on you if you stay with her. You are a man. You a leader. End it. But we have to make those decisions as men. But don't pay attention to these gurus out here, because they fake. They fraud. So let's get back to it. So I want to speak on I want to talk about something else, nephew, because right now, the genre that's controlling the world and controlling young people's mind, men and women, is hip hop. Everybody got a hip hop artist that they love. And right now we seeing hip hop in all kind of trouble. We didn't have one of the biggest rappers in the industry, Lil Durk, get locked up for allegedly committing murder for hire. In fact, they trying to put a second one on him for the killing of FBG Cash. So you got the first one, which is Quando Rondo's little cousin, Lil Pop, and then you got our cousin Lil Pop, and then you got this second one with FBG Cash. And I bring this up because I want to ask you, you familiar with Durk, right, nephew?
Yeah, I know Durk. Yeah.
Okay. And I know my nephews like hip hop. They always have, and everything like that. Is Durk one of the artists at any point in time in your life that you listen to, or did you like his music?
I won't say I listen to him a lot, but I definitely had a couple songs in there every now and then.
Okay. But just name some of the artists. I'm gonna say in the last couple of years, artists that you listen to and everything like that. Because I'm going somewhere with this, but just go over some of the artists out there that you listen to.
I'd say Lil Baby, Rod Wave, what people in that area I never can think on the spot, but it's in that type of area, so I can't really.
And I think that this is important because right now we're in a place to where with hip hop controlling everything, a lot of the music that's being put out there, a lot of these artists is really living that type of life. We seeing what happened with Lil Durk. We saw the situation with Young Thug and everything, and we're seeing a lot of young men, young women too, but young men, my nephew's age, that are a part of RICO cases. Going, trying to go viral, shooting, killing, online, trying to go viral, all kind of stuff. We're in that phase and in that place, right now. So one thing that I want to ask you with what we see now in the world with hip hop focusing on talking about murders and things like that and actually going to jail for these type of situations, and even taking it a step further with what we saw with Diddy and what we hearing with Jay-Z. When you listen to this music, nephew, as a young teenage kid, do you ever listen to this music and do it ever make you want to live the life of these artists? Or do you see people around you that are in your age group trying to be like who these artists are and what they're saying in their lyrics? Even when you go to the Futures and stuff like that, talking about the Molly Percocets, everything like that. Do you see kids in your age group trying to be like these artists and trying to imitate these artists with who they are and what they're doing?
All right, first, from myself, right now I'm good. I can listen to music and I feel some type of way, but when I was a little younger, when I would listen to certain artists, it would make me think different about women, about girls, about the way they talked about them in the songs. It just made me look at them differently, like they're not a human creature like that God put on this earth. I mean, it made me think they're a thing and not a person. So I was yeah, I would say that. And then other people when they listen to certain rap music, they they start thinking that they should live that type of life when it comes to guns, all types of drugs, all that type of stuff. I'm like, but right now I can listen to certain music and not feel nothing because I don't listen to it 90% of the time. It's just a 20% of the time thing when I like to listen to it before games or when I'm working out or something. But that's not my type of music. I listen to more slow R&B stuff. But
Yeah. I want to go a little further than that because we got you here, and like I say, you in that age group. Give an example of, and you don't got, and no names, right? Just give an example of someone who you know or you experienced around you in your age group that you saw someone who tried to imitate what a rapper is doing or talking about and tried to take it to the next level when you know that's not who they really are, but because they're trying to imitate that artist, they took things to the next level. Give an example of it, if you can, nephew.
All right, so I'm gonna take this back to middle school. Actually, like I used to be, well, I wasn't close friends with him, but I knew of him. We talked every now and then. We had a class together. We talked. He used to be super nice. Like we was cool. He was super nice. He looked like he was living a good life from what I was seeing. I can't really say what was going on outside of school, but um, his favorite artist was King Von. So King Von, he used to listen to King Von 24/7. That was his favorite artist. He never listened to anything else. So, beginning of my freshman year, he went to a different school. I went to a different school, so I didn't really know too much that was going on in his life. But then I ended up seeing pictures of him on Instagram of him holding up two guns and sagging his pants all the way down to his knees, like he didn't know how to pull his pants up or something, like his belt fell. I mean, I don't know, but and I'm like, that was not the kid. The kid I knew in middle school was, I mean, he was fun. I mean, he wore his pants up. He probably didn't even know how to work a gun back in the middle school. He didn't talk about it, none of that. And then later on, my sophomore year, I ended up hearing he got killed.
Wow.
In a shooting, and yeah, that just, I mean, that broke my heart seeing that, because the impact that rappers have on some kids. So like,
Yeah. Wow, that's deep, nephew. I mean, when I asked you that, I didn't know it was gonna go there. I promise I did not know. See, the reason why I talk about these type of things a lot of times is because as a older guy and everything, I didn't seen it. I didn't seen people, try to imitate, artists, and I didn't seen what happened later from them trying to imitate those certain artists and everything like that. Like those things come back on you, and the artists are not taking responsibility for it or accountability. And that always have been my issue with older men not taking a responsibility and being accountable for their actions. You know what I'm saying? I always say all the time, and I'm gonna just point this out because we keeping it real, and I'm gonna keep it 100. All the older men that were around me my entire life, I say all the time, I thank God that I had men around me, so it showed me how to be strong and how to go out here and be a leader. But there were a lot of mistakes and things done to where it took a lot of us younger ones down the wrong directions because we saw them do a lot of wrong and we emulated it and copied it. And there have been no accountability from those older men and adults that was around me and a lot of my cousins and siblings and everything like that. So I think it's important for just like those men, these artists take accountability and put out there, you know what? We putting the wrong message out there. I get it. We trying to sell records. We trying to sell tickets, but it's wrong. They need to tell people in your age group like that, because just like your friend who lost his life, they don't understand that a lot of these young boys out here are killing themselves, ended up in jail, and even when it come down to the drugs, having overdoses because they think that's cool and that's who they need to be. But these rappers don't understand how much control they got. All you got to do is say, nah, that's wrong. Don't do it behind closed doors. Don't do it to where nobody can hear, because that's not going viral. Just like you went viral with that attempted murder that now you in court for, that you just beat. Let people know at the end of the day, this is all wrong. This is not who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? It's important. That's why I always say myself, a person who was the oldest of a lot of cousins. I was the firstborn. I messed up a lot in my youth. Now, I didn't know no better, but I messed up. And I say all the time, the reason why I do this and I'm here now today, because I'm taking responsibility and I'm accountable for all the mistakes I did, and I showed all of them. I almost lost my life one time, and a lot of my family members who was there could have lost their life too if it would have went wrong when I got stabbed, walking up to some gang members. You know, I was around 22 at this time, walking up to some gang members who, you know, punked my cousin, you know, or something like, you know, he was trying to get his shoes. You know, he came inside the food place and he let us know, hey, these dudes tried to take my shoes, some gang members, and me being hot-headed, you know, hot-headed, oh, nobody could, you know, no, ego, pride, nobody say nothing to my cousin. Me, I'm, right out of McDonald's running right over there to him. Ended up having a big fight, and there was more of them than us. And I got stabbed a couple of times in my stomach. Thank God I stayed alive. Thank God none of them had guns, because if they had guns, we would have been dead. You know, if all of them had knives, we would have been dead. But that was on me. So I'm here to say, hey, as adults, as grown men, we are the leaders when it comes down to the next generation. They are following us. And we don't want to see more cases of what we just heard from my nephew about one of his friends who tried to imitate King Von and ended up dead like King Von. We don't want to keep seeing none of that, you know? So I'm glad that you basically saying, nephew, I'm in a place to where I can listen to certain songs, but I understand that ain't who I want to be. And I do watch what I listen to. Maybe when I was younger, I was a little bit more loose with what I was listening to. But if I do listen to it, it's just, hey, I'm working out or whatever, but it's not because I'm trying to imitate what they're talking about. You know, and I'm proud of you when it come down to that, you know, and when it came down to your friend, I just want to ask this before we move on. When it came down to your friend, did anyone talk about this situation in a way where they tried to give a little bit of advice, or just talk about it, talking about who this guy was and just try to help the youth from his situation that he faced? Was there any type of conversation around what happened to this young boy?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know what's going on at his house. I don't know if anybody tries to tell him that at his house. I don't know if he listens to it at his house. But when it was at school, nobody was saying anything. Like, I was the only one trying to put input into his head. Like, I mean, you can listen to other things besides that. Like, it don't got it. There's different types of rappers that have good music that don't talk about killing every song. I mean, talk about robbing somebody, doing drugs every song. I'm like, I try to tell him, but I mean, I didn't have much of an impact on him because it was just me. It wasn't multiple people telling him that. It was just me, and he felt like why, if everybody doing it, why can't I do it? You know? So I mean, that was the only thing.
Yeah, but what about afterwards? Afterwards, like, did your city talk about this situation, or was it like a topic, or was it just a funeral and everybody moved on? It wasn't nothing to talk about later. You know, I just want to know, did this turn into something that, okay, now we trying to help young men in this community? Did this turn into anything like that?
Not the crazy thing is, like, everybody like felt like it was normal, like to see somebody die because they was in the streets and they was with guns and they was listening to certain artists. People just said it was normal. It was a normal thing that happened. I mean, if you don't know, Kansas City it's a high murder rate. It's a high murder rate state. Like, it's a lot of murders that happen in Kansas City, and it's like people just think it was another murder in the city. Like, and that's the thing that really it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of us OGs, a lot of us older men out here not taking responsibility, you know, and being accountable. You know, when it come down to the youth, we just like, well, it wasn't my kid, or it had nothing to do with me. I'm not the one who pulled the trigger, and we just walk away from it. When I'm like, nah, you know, when it come down to our community, like when we look at these young ones, they are our responsibility. They are. And we have to take responsibility. We have to speak up on these things. I'm not afraid. Like I say all the time, I don't care if this don't go viral, my channel don't go viral. I don't care about none of that. I'm always going to put out the message that matter the most. I'm not going to put out the hottest topic and talk about it like everybody else. I'm going to give game to where, hey, if you ready to receive it, you can come to my channel. If you're not ready, hey, go to all these other big channels that just giving you what you want, you know? But if you're ready to receive game and information that can help you grow and go to the next level, That's what we do here, you know. So thank you for sharing that, nephew, because I think that a lot of times when I talk about people in your age group, people ain't just hearing me because they like, well, you're an older cat. You're not in high school right now, or you're not in college, so you don't really know what's going on out here when it come down to our age group. Even though I've been there and I've done that, I think it's good when it's somebody now your age who's in the mix of all of that, that is going through everything that we're talking about, because the youth, God called the young because they're strong. The You guys as the youth control more than what y'all know. Y'all control when it come down to artist ticket sales, album sales. When it come down to sports, y'all the ones who tell y'all parents, let's go to the games. When it come down to the concerts, y'all the ones who tell y'all parents to get y'all a ticket. When it come down to, keeping colleges move and keeping this world move, is y'all and y'all age bracket that keeps this world moving. And I'm letting y'all know y'all have more control than what y'all know. It's just y'all not being led by the right people when it come down to, entertainment in this world that's controlling TV and social media and everything. Y'all following that. But the reason why y'all are the most highlighted is because y'all really control all of that. So it's a bunch of terrible leaders leading the majority. And that's where we're failing at right now, So yeah. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you, nephew, you have a relationship with God?
Oh yeah, I have a relationship with God. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's where I want it to be at, but I definitely when people say they go to church every Sunday, I don't, and they don't do anything else outside of that. I'm like, man, that don't even make no sense. You must not really want a relationship with God then, if that's the only thing you do. With me, I go to church on Sunday and I go to my youth Bible studies on Wednesdays. And I try, the thing where I'm not perfect in is like I try to read my Bible every now and then, but I'm not consistent. So I'm trying to get on that level where I'm more consistent with it. But I definitely need to build my relationship with God more, but I have one.
Yeah, that's what's up, nephew. That's what's up. And I want to say, I'm proud of you in that. It's a lot of areas, but I'm really proud of you the most. When it come down to that area, because, you didn't came to church with me, and you right there taking notes and everything like that. And when I see, I ain't gonna lie, the last time you came to church, and I said, I almost wanted to shed a little tear, because I'm like, man, my nephew is really into God. And when I was your age, just to be real with you, because of the way we was taught when it come down to the faith, because my grandfather was a pastor. I tried to run from the church because it was very, I think my grandfather was a great pastor. I'm Paul the Third. I have my grandfather's name, but it was very legalistic. Everything that was taught was, you're going to go to hell for this, you're going to go to hell for that. And it was hell, hell, hell. So when you young, your age, you going to want to run from that. I'm like, well, where's the kindness? Where's the generosity? Where's the humility, man? What's going on? Let me get up out of here. Shoot, am I 18 yet? Let me go. So we was trying to run from church. But then I got reintroduced to the faith and focused more on the relationship. Like when Jesus was walking on this earth, the scriptures in the book of like Luke, Matthew, John, and all of those scriptures, and just going over, things like that, and just really focusing on the scriptures, and that's what really brought me closer to God. And then going to churches like Bishop Blake Church, and listening to pastors like Pastor Miles, Bishop Tony Evans, and people like that. That's what started to draw me closer, to God. But one thing I want to say, nephew, is you're gonna be 18 soon. And in 1 Corinthians 16, 13 through 14 say, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Again, it says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, and be strong. What does that mean to you? Like I said, you're going to be 18 soon. When you 18, you a man. Let's just keep it straight 100. You almost there. I know your mom don't always want to hear that, but let's keep it 100. You almost a man. You know what I'm saying? What does that mean to you when you hear that verse?
I mean, when I get to college, man, I mean, I'm gonna have support, but like realistically, like I'm there by myself, or I might have a couple of friends, but it's the choices I make. So when I hear that verse, I mean, like it tells me if I'm having a bad day or a bad week, I mean, like be strong. Like I mean, I'm there. I'm already there. I mean, I gotta finish what I start. Like that's what I'm saying. I gotta finish what I start. So if I'm there, I gotta. When I read that scripture, I'm like, I mean, it should put a boost in my energy to be strong and I mean, finish what I started.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. One thing that we gotta always know as men, for all the young men that are watching, we're leaders. God made us men for a reason. So when he say be watchful, he's telling us pay attention to everything that's going on around us. Because as the leaders, we have to make sure that we looking out for the ones around us. So we have to be watchful. All leaders should always be watchful. So that's important. Stand firm in the faith. If you don't have any faith in anything, if you don't have faith in God, if you don't have God by your side, then what are you really here for? What is your faith in? Then you're just an empty soul, an empty spirit, an empty heart if you have no faith in anything. So you got to stand firm in the faith, stand strong, stand confident, let people know, hey, I have faith in God, and don't shy away from it. And it says also act like men. Men, act like men. What does it mean to act like men? Be a leader, be courageous, be strong, know how to lead, build a foundation, protect, provide. Act like men, Also be strong. As men, we always got to be strong. It's okay to, show a little bit of sensitivity every now and then, especially with your wife, your kids, even with other men when it come down to teaching, because you can't do everything, with in a way to where you being pushy and arrogant and everything like that. You can't always be like that. Even with men, you got to have that side to you, that sensitive side as well, in order to lead, right? But you got to be strong. Everything you do, you got to show strength that God installed in you. Not worldly strength where you got an ego all walking around, I'm the biggest man on campus. No, I'm talking about the strength that God installs in us, strength to go out there, no matter what we going through, we know to get on our knees and give it to God and get up with confidence and do it over and over again, if that's the direction that God leading us in. So it's important to always be strong. And then I'm gonna follow that up with the line right after that. Let all that you do be done in love. You could go out there and be strong, be courageous, and be a leader, and do it all with love. Just because you being strong doing it doesn't mean you can't show love while doing it. So that's important too. That last line, what does that mean to you, nephew, when it says, let all that you do be done in love?
I mean, yeah, like love everything that you do. Don't do something that's, that doesn't bring a spark to your energy. Even if you do it, that doesn't have a spark to your energy. Still love it. Still love that you have opportunity to do it. Like I said, everybody don't got the same opportunities as you. So love everything that you do.
Yeah, right. I haven't really showed anything in the chat because this is a conversation that we was having. But if somebody said something that I just want to show before we get out of here. Somebody put a message that I think was a message that was worth putting up. Let's I ain't even set the chat all up and everything like that, but let me try to here we go right here. Blue Moon said individuals who has no wisdom can only pass down ignorance. Whew. That's a good one. Individuals who has no wisdom can only pass down ignorance. Wisdom come from listening, man. Wisdom come from listening and learning. And that's one thing that I respect and love about you, nephew. You listen and you learn. And when it comes down to putting in the work and work ethic, you're going to continue to grow with that. Those are tools right there that we can continue to grow with. But it's some tools that you have that is just natural that I love seeing in you, and that's that you're a really good listener, and I see that you continue to learn and grow because you're a good listener. And listening the way you do is gonna start to create more wisdom as you get older. You know, you're gonna be one of those dudes, 30 years old. You got the wisdom of a 50-year-old, and people around you gonna be able to tell you are a future leader. You know, I see that in you, and that's why I wanted to bring you here today, so the world could get a little piece of the future when it come down to you, nephew. So, man, I'm glad that you came down and chopped it up with your nephew. You got any shout outs or anything you want to say before we get up out of here, nephew?
I got one thing. I'm gonna take it back to the Travis Hunter thing real quick, just real quick.
All right, say what you gotta say.
Hey, Travis Hunter, if for some reason if you watching this right now, man, I got something to say. So like. When we say block out the haters, we're not saying that you're not gonna hear them. Like, of course, you're gonna hear them everywhere you go. People might even start saying stuff at your football games. Like, you're gonna hear it everywhere you go. When we say block it out, that means, don't show people that you hear them. Play the game that you love and then deal with what you got at home. You know what I'm saying? But when I say block out the haters, just don't show it on your face, and you know what I'm saying, you'll be all right.
Man, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. That's really good, really good, really good advice. You know, that's why I've always respected even though it's a lot of stuff I probably don't really know what he's doing in closing. I don't know. But there's people like Jay-Z, people like Dr. Tony Evans, and look, I'm not putting a pastor in the category with a hip hop star. I'm just saying, when it comes down to these individuals' mentalities with the way they handle the press and they handle the noise, I've always respected the way a Jay-Z, a Tony Evans, a Devin Franklin, the way they handle things, because they not always running to the internet to explain the noise that we're hearing out here. You know, they're patient. You know, they know that the internet is gonna win every time. So let me take a step back, analyze what's going on, and if I do gotta say something, maybe I'll put out a statement. But I'm not gonna do that just because people are talking. So exactly what you said. I hope that he do take that advice and you know he learned from it. So, all right, man. Hey, this was a good show, man. Any shout outs, nephew? Any shout outs?
I want to shout out to my mom, like always. I appreciate you, mom. Everything that you do.
Hey, man, always got to shout out the moms. Always shout out the moms. All right, man. Hey, this was the good show. Hey, Wesley, my nephew, your boy Paul P, man. We love you all. We out of here. Doses.